Buenas tardes, BAM. Vengo a visitarles desde Costa Rica via California, and today I'm going to talk about the work that I've been doing in relation to aquifers. Aquifers are the movement that the encounter of water with rock makes possible. They are the seepage that the push and pull effects. Aquifers seem unremarkable until pollution, drought, or war require us to stop and think about their form and realize that they are water and stone together, inseparably, in constant movement. And yet aquifers are forgotten figures of the underground. Shaped by the legacy of geology, at least since the 18th century, two underground figures have dominated our imagination of the subsurface: the mine and the cave. The mine, on the one hand, draws the senses to the physical challenges of extracting materials such as coal and gold. Launched on the basis of environmental degradation, the backs of indigenous Black and Campesino peoples, mines dislodge materials, turn them into commodities for some to decorate their bodies, build microchips, and of course, generate massive capitalist profits. The cave, on the other hand, is a space that mystifies by way of its hollowed-out space. The cave is for some a repository of human origins, for others a site to breathe while persecuted. Caves expand our spatial imaginaries. They inspire forms of geological proprioception, an embodied orientation towards geological materials in the underground. Both the cave and the mine rest on ideas of the subsurface, constituted by stratigraphic layers where valuables are supposed to be sprinkled. These are layers of rock with different histories and material components that contain valuables that are supposedly waiting to be appropriated. In this stratigraphic worldview, the underground is nothing but a site of extraction. This extraction today is fueled by artificial intelligence, as is the case with oil endeavors. And it is also accelerated by new financial frontiers that turn water into an asset for an index fund. But what if we refuse these legacies and the extractivist paradigm they come from? What if we adopted a different starting point, another figure of the underground that emphasizes water in movement? I want to propose one idea to you. That is the idea of hydrogeosocial choreographies, formations that put water, stone, and movement in the midst of people, beings, and landscapes. Hydrogeosocial choreographies are that push and pull of matter, history, and our imagination. They remind us not to forget to look downwards, below the surface. What if we thought of these choreographies as fields where subjects, beings, and matter are constantly being pushed and pulled in different directions? This push and pull is performed by scientific, gendered, emotional, legal, political, and financial aspects, all of which are necessary to turn aquifers into objects of political existence. This push and pull also includes the movement of geological processes as scientists help us understand them. It includes the push and pull of collective action among community members who do the daily work to keep their infrastructures running. It is also the push to occupy the streets in demand for respect of way of life that resist the extractivist impetus of transnational capital that we are all subject to. It is also the pull of aquifers, as subterranean formations that demand that we pay attention to that which is not accessible to the senses, leaving us only with things like wells and springs as windows into the underworld. To end, I want to share with you 3 ways that people in Costa Rica have taught me how to understand this push and pull. These three figures help us organize, demand action, conduct research, resist dispossession, and many more things. They center the work that is necessary to live in an already changed climate. The first figure is the sponge. Aquifers are very much like sponges, dynamic entities where rock and water constitute movement. Aquifers suck liquids in and ooze their excess towards their surroundings, constantly contracting and expanding. They can be soft when moist and brittle when desiccated. In a spongy aquifer, water occupies variegated openings. It migrates, stepping in where space becomes available. Movement. Aquifers are water flowing, percolating, infiltrating, going down, coming up, constantly challenging any boundaries. From floodlines like the ones that I have behind me, deep into the wells that the Israeli army fills with concrete, or the ones that they bomb. In July, 30 wells were bombed in Gaza. Rain falling, rivers flowing, lakes seeping, all moving. This is water on its way into aquifers or on its way out of aquifers. But aquifers are also the movement of capital, of building materials, of pipes and wells. Movement is never innocent. And finally, plumes. Contamination plumes expand and contract volumetrically, upward, downward, sideways, as they work their relationship to their host, the aquifer. Contamination plumes stretch under the surface, impossible to precisely map. Toxic, shape-shifting, difficult to pinpoint, and as such, difficult to adjudicate responsibility for. As beautiful as they seem, plumes are toxic and harmful. Sponge, movement, plume. Three figures to act, think, and imagine aquifers that get us beyond the extractivist paradigms that want us to only see water quantities waiting to be appropriated. Sponge, movement, plume. Figures to decipher the choreographies through which life endures, always pulling, pushing, and moving us. Thank you very much.